Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. And here's the meme of the day, brought to you by 5mind.com. You know, you were told that diversity is your strength, to just shut up and not ask questions. And boy, has that house of cards, at this point, totally and utterly collapsed. We were told not to ask questions, to shut up and obey. All the people being rushed into the nation, many illegally and many under false pretense. You were told that they were Americans, just like you. Americans built the country, after all. It's a nation built with immigrants. America has no culture. It's a post-national state. Whatever idea you had of an American culture, well, it was simply a fever dream, see? And boy, what a spell they weave to pull this one off, to convince a nation to essentially destroy itself from within. But thankfully nowadays, it seems as though most people have snapped out of it. They've been dispelled of these la-di-da, latte liberal notions. People are starting to see the reality. This is what happens when you open your borders with absolutely no expectation to anybody, under this naive presumption that everything's just gonna work out. Well, it doesn't seem to be working, I'll tell you that much. We got some shocking videos from the Somali Minneapolis community, even some videos involving Ilhan Omar, and it all goes to show just how much of a mistake this modern liberal social experiment has been. This is the kind of stuff that rips a nation apart. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. You know, I'll just present this clip with a couple words. This is late stage liberalism.
aad iyo aad baan rabaa marka ugu horeysa inaan uga mahadceliyo runtii TV qaranka iyo maamulkiisaba waa laba waxoo taariikh runtii oo aan ka sameynay gobolkeena Ohio, especially khaasan magaalada Columbus. Marka ugu horeysa waxa way Sayid Maxamed Cabdulla Xasan waa aabihii Soomaaliya runtii waa qof maxal dhahay sharaftiisa iyo karaamadiisa qof la mid ah oo taariikhda Soomaaliya kuma jirto. Marka runtii hadafkiiga go'an bay ahayd anoo xitaa soo bixin ka hor baan maskaxdayda ku jirto runtii haddii mar wado mise wax lagu maamuusiyo qof bini aadan oo Soomaaliya Sayid Maxamed Cabdulla Xasan baa istaahila taariikhna runtii ku xusno magaalada Columbus Ohio wada aan ugu magac darnay taasna runtii taariikh bay noo tahay dhowr iyo 20 in haysano xildhibaano kala duwan. Of course Ilhan Umarna noo tahay xildhibaanadeena federaalka noo fadhida gobolka Minnesota ka socota xildhibaano ilaa gaaraya dhowr iyo 10 runtii oo dhinaca siriga iyo state-ka baa ku fadhino. Marka urur baa samaysanay anagu waa isku xiranaa runtii qol baan isku jirnaa. Hadafkeenu waxa weeyna ka wada hadalno xaaladaha waliba Soomaaliya saameynaya waa dadkeeni waa dalkeeni wixii marka hadafkeenu waxa weey runtii anagu isku duuban inaan u laabi gareyn karno dalka Soomaaliya garab u noqon karno baahiyooyinka daloodeyn cafiski.
Ilhan ma aha qadiyad Ilhan ma aha qadiyad Minnesota ma aha qadiyad reer Mareykan qadiyad Ilhan waa qadiyad Soomaaliyeed.
How was life here in Minneapolis?
Alhamdulillah, mashallah, ya Allah.
This is Little Mogadishu, Minneapolis, the unofficial capital of the 100,000 plus Somalis that have made Minnesota their home. Do you speak any English?
Somali.
French.
No English? This community speak English?
Yeah, why not? What I'm speaking now, am I speaking for Greek?
That takes time. Somalis came here 30 years ago.
You think 30 years is not enough time to assimilate?
I do not agree with the assimilation. I came from Virginia previously.
Why from Virginia to Minnesota?
Well, we have more Somali, more power, we have more political power. We can have better chances here.
You know, you've lost the frickin' plot. You've lost all common sense when you've completely removed any standards to the notion itself of immigration. And of course, here's the part that the left seemingly forgot. When you naturalize, when you immigrate to another country, when you finally become a citizen and accept the passport, in most cases, you're supposed to entirely renounce all allegiances to any other foreign state. That's kind of part of the deal. That's the trade-off. You want the passport, the protection, all the generous social benefits, the incredible opportunity of being an American, the infrastructure. Well, your allegiance is supposed to be now to that nation that has wrapped its arms around you, not a foreign nation in Africa. And nobody's saying you have to forget where you came from, but to declare to the world that your allegiance is to a foreign state and not American? Frankly, it should be freaking disqualifying. And that's what we've got here. We've got all kinds of people who have seemingly taken immigration oaths. Ilhan Omar herself. yet they seem totally comfortable with publicly declaring that they are Somalia first, waving Somali flags, speaking a foreign nation, singing Somali national songs. The left calls this culture, righto. It's a mosaic of culture. I call this a slap in the face to your host nation, a spit in the face to the oath that you swore. I mean, at that point, you're hardly a citizen. You're more of a glorified tourist with benefits. And so, the insult goes on and on. It's not just the verbal slaps in the face, but then you've got the mass near systemic fraud, billion-dollar fraud schemes, election fraud, and electioneering. And so obviously there's an issue to look at with this particular community. It's an issue of national concern, of foreign policy, of immigration policy, an issue of tax fraud to the American taxpayers. It's a multifaceted issue, and a legitimate issue at that. And yet, what's the reaction from the left? Well, of course, it's as brain dead as always. Instead of addressing the actual issue itself, they immediately make the claim that this is an attack now on all black people, on all brown people too, actually. Oh, and Mexicans join the battle too. Oh, and secular Jews, why not you as well? Oh, let's get the LGBTQ in on it too. Again, turn it into this oppression sport. This is an attack on all marginalized peoples. But of course, the key aim is to mobilize black activism in defense of the Somali community. But the whole premise, frankly, is stupid. Somalis are a microscopic slice of the population. This is not an issue of all black Americans. It's a hyper-localized problem from a particular imported community. But of course, because said community has darker pigmentation in their skin, well, all of a sudden it's an issue of civil rights. Give me a frickin' break. There's no issue of racism here at all. No, the demand is actually quite simple. How about don't steal from American taxpayers? How about don't commit immigration fraud? Maybe don't steal millions of dollars and then send remittance payments, which make their way to terrorist organizations back home in Somalia. I mean, talk about Somalia first. And of course, the absolute most basic demand, or let's call it a request, even though it should be a demand, assimilation. Basic assimilation. Learn the language, adopt the culture. But no, apparently any demand of assimilation is somehow Nazi behavior, according to Ilhan Omar.
Stephen Miller said, on Thanksgiving Day, he posted, "No magic transformation occurs when failed states cross borders. At scale, migrants and their descendants recreate the conditions and terrors of their broken homelands." What do you make of this argument of failure to assimilate and sort of ruining America? How do you understand this?
I mean, when I think about Stephen Miller and his white supremacist rhetoric, it reminds me of the way the Nazis described Jewish people in Germany. And, as we know, there have been many immigrants who have tried to come to the United States who've turned back, one of them being Jewish immigrants. We know the way that people were described who were coming from Ireland, Irish immigrants. We know the way in which people were described back then when they were Italian immigrants. And to me, we're yes, of course, ethnically Somali. We are in this country as Americans. Yeah. We are citizens. We are productive part of this nation, and we will continue to be.
So utterly ridiculous. And again, leaping to the racist thing, the scary boogeyman. But the ask is really not that extreme at all. Nobody is telling you that you need to be a white, cis man, bleach your skin, have a sex change, wear a cowboy hat, drive a lifted F-150, and tattoo a frickin' eagle on your ballsack. Nobody's saying that. No, the bar is very low. Learn the language, respect the culture, understand what made this part of the world the best place on earth in the first place. Understand the reason why you're fleeing one country to go to America is because America did it right. Try to genuinely become un-American. But no, instead we see the creation of little Mogadishu, where now police and politicians speak in Arabic to the local people. There's no respect for American cultural institutions. There's no respect for American culture, American values. No respect for the taxpayer, no respect for the programs. Just mass abuse and disrespect, and apparently demanding a little bit of respect. Just a little bit. Well, that now, according to Ilhan Omar, makes you a Nazi. I think at this point, the discussion is over. It's become untenable. It's time to accept that this naive implementation of mud diversity, of multiculturalism, has essentially failed on the world stage. At this point, it's time to save what's left and really think long and hard about the value proposition behind every immigrant group. And that's not racist. That's basic common sense. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.